Welcome everyone to the Lure Cup Meta Simplified guide. Now for those people who don't know, Lure is the cup made by our community for the month of September. It is an unranked cup and will not affect player rank. Lure consists of grass, ice and rock type Pokemon with Bastidon, Venusaur and Tropious banned for balancing purposes. This fantastic infographic was made by our beloved GI Auditore and all simulations are from PVPoke, link in the description below. As you can see from the infographic, the meta has 4 major groups: the grass type, the ice type, the rock type and the counter users. The ice types win against the grass type, the grass against the rock type wins against the ice type, and the counter users win against both ice and rock. So that's the simplified version of the meta simplified guide. Now for the meta, let's talk about the grass meta first. Now in the grass group there are 2 subgroups, which are grass poison and pure grasses. They are divided because the grass poisons mainly beat the pure grasses in majority of shielding scenarios. In the grass poison group, Victreebel does lose against Meganium, although it does win in the zero shield scenario if it has sludge bomb and with acid spray. And I recommend everyone to run sludge bomb because with acid spray you have worse matchups versus pure grasses and grass poisons. So sludge bomb is the way to go. And Victreebel does lose against Ivysaur because Ivysaur with Vine Whip charges Sludge Bomb extremely fast, and Ivysaur does win against all pure grasses. So you might be thinking that Ivysaur is the king of grass types, but that's the Vine Whip variant of Ivysaur. And with Vine Whip, Ivysaur's most matchups are shielding based, but Victreebel doesn't have that problem. Victreebel straight up wins its winning matchups with Razor Leaf, and with Razor Leaf, Victreebel can win against Frostlass and Lapras. And the surprising fact is that Victreebel actually wins against Breloom in the 1 shield and the 2 shield matchups because Breloom is just too frail. Victreebel has 39 HP left. Moving on to the rock types, they are mostly beaten by grass types with the exception of Probopass, and wins against almost every ice type. Probopass and Relicanth straight up beat most ice types, although Probopass and Alolan Sandslash has a shielding matchup. Now for Sandslash, I suggest running Powder Snow, Bulldoze and Gyro Wall. And for Probopass, I do suggest everyone running Rock Throw because Rock Throw has overall better matchups than Spark. So here, as you can see, with Powder Snow and Bulldoze, it's mostly a shielding based matchup, and even though Probopass beats Sandslash in the 1 shield scenario, it's really close and mainly CMP based. Probopass has just 8 HP left. And if you're thinking about the Probopass mirror, Spark Probopass will straight up beat the Rock Throw Probopass in the mirror. It beats Probopass in all shielding scenario except for the 2-0 shield, which is highly unlikely a situation you will go to, and dumping all your shields on Probopass is not a clever thing to do. Moving on to the ice types. Ice types are supposed to win against grass, and in general it does, but Frostlass and Lapras do lose against Victreebel. I am using the Sludge Bomb variant of the Victreebel again with Leaf Blade and Sludge Bomb, and on Frostlass I suggest running Powder Snow, Shadow Ball and Avalanche, not Crunch. Do not run Crunch. Now against Frostlass, it does lose in the zero shield scenario, but it wins hard in the 1 and 2 shielding scenario with 39 HP left and almost half a leaf blade charged. Same goes to Lapras, although Lapras would do much with Ice Shard, Ice Beam and Surf. This is a recommended set for Lapras. It does lose against Victreebel in all 3 shielding scenario except for the 1-0 shielding scenario. So Victreebel actually beats out Lapras. So you might be thinking that what ice type should you run if both of your ice type is going to lose against Razor Leaf, and they do lose against Razor Leaf, and I just showed the Victreebel matchup, but they lose against all Razor Leaf variants. Kinda hard. Inside the ice group, I personally think Lapras is the way to go as it beats Frostlass in all 3 shielding scenarios with about 55 HP left, and in 2 shielding scenario it wins harder with around 44 HP left. And Lapras also beats out Alolan Sandslash in all 3 scenarios. Same goes to Glalie. Lapras wins against most ice types, so and has really good matches overall with great bulk and spammy moveset. I think Lapras is the way to go, but there is a but. Lapras loses against Razor Leaf users, as I told you guys earlier. This is where Alolan Sandslash shines, because Alolan Sandslash can beat Victreebel in almost all shielding scenarios, and same goes to Ivysaur. It wins against most Razor Leaf users and Walls Vine Whip users, so watch out for Sandslash, and I would suggest everyone to just try it out. Try Sandslash out, although Lapras is really tempting. And for Frostlass, it does resist counter, and for Frostlass it does resist counter from Breloom and Sudowoodo, and has actually good matchups against them. More to it on later. So I think all ice types have their own niche and utility, and none of them should be overlooked. So I would suggest everyone to try Frostlass, Glalie, Lapras and Alolan Sandslash from the infographic. I think all 4 of them are really good candidates for the Lure Cup. Oh, and pro tip, Lapras is supposed to lose against counter users, and against Breloom what you do is you don't use any charge moves and you shield only once. If you do that, Lapras will have around 12 HP left and will kill Breloom with just only Ice Shards, and with this you have almost 2 Surfs charged, and another Ice Shard will charge up a second Ice Beam. So this is how you use the Breloom. This is how you win against the Breloom matchup. Same goes for Frostlass. Frostlass can just farm out Breloom without using any charge moves. I won't use any charge moves here. And Frostlass will KO Breloom with 48 HP left, and you have to shield once though. And you will have about 2 avalanches charged, or more, almost 2 shadow balls charged. This is how you do the Breloom matchup. But against Sudowoodo, I don't think there's much to do actually. Mainly counter, earthquake and rock slide variant. So against Sudowoodo you do lose out, but Lapras can win against Sudowoodo if Lapras has Surf, more pre-Surf charged. It then becomes a shielding matchup. Talking about Sudowoodo, now the important part from the infographic, the counter users are supposed to beat the ice types, right? But there are some key matchups as I told you earlier. Sudowoodo, Breloom, and Watergun Lapras. Watergun Lapras beats Sudowoodo. Watergun Lapras beats Sudowoodo in the Zero Shield and the 2 Shield scenario. And Breloom straight up beats Watergun Lapras and Sudowoodo in most shielding scenarios. So Breloom is kinda the king of the counter users and will almost shred through any rock type. But the thing is, Breloom is so frail that I don't think Breloom is actually that good. Water Gun Lapras I think is actually a really good pick. Now moving on to the Mold Breakers. Mold Breakers are a type of specialist or wildcard. They have very specific matchups. Articuno, I would suggest everyone running Ice Shard, Ice Beam, and Ancient Power. It beats out Victreebel because of the Razor Leaf resistance, and it beats Victreebel in all shielding scenario. And not just Victreebel, it beats out other Razor Leaf users also, if your opponent decides to run the Razor Leaf variant of them, that is. So even against Meganium, it does win with Ice Shard and Ancient Power spam, and it can beat out other ice types with Ancient Power. And Execute and Executor are Confusion users, and their main job is to beat the grass poisons which run rampant through most teams. As you can see, they have really good matchups, although in the one shield scenario it's a CMP tie for Execute and Ivysaur, so you have to be wary if you use them, and really specific matchups. And like the Execute and Executor, Roserade beats out the pure grasses. It beats Meganium in the Zero Shield and the 2 Shield scenario. I used Meganium here because Meganium is one of the tankiest pure grasses in this meta. So I used it as a reference. And now Cradily. Cradily is a really weird pick in this meta. Cradily has Infestation, Stone Age, and Grass Knot. Although it loses against Lapras, but it doesn't really lose that hard in the one shield scenario, because Breloom, like even Breloom was supposed to beat Lapras and it actually lost. And I think shields down, Cradily can be a threat if used right. So this was the in general meta simplified overview of the Lure Cup. Hope this video helps you choosing your Pokemon for the Lure Cup, and I will be uploading my practice videos with team building in the future, so stay tuned. This is Bhuvan Ahmed signing out.